Hi Aries, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your November 1st to the 15th, 2021 money and career reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Aries, November 1st to the 15th, 2021 Aries, money and career. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Tower, which shows that we're going through a really big change, and we have the Emperor. So that's us. We ourselves, we're represented by the Emperor in the major arcana, by the Wands in the minor arcana. And so we ourselves are going through a really big change, and we've had our world kind of shaken. It doesn't have to be, when Spirit says really big change, it doesn't have to be that everybody is like, oh my gosh, Aries, look at the change that you've went through. It can just be that it's stunningly impactful for us, and other people might not even get how this has impacted our hearts and ourselves. So just being mindful about this and understanding that it's not how everybody else perceives anything. It's how we ourselves are perceiving the moment right now. We then have the Six of Pentacles and the World. The world is opening to us, but we need things to be balanced, and it's not always feeling as if things are as balanced as they should be. So that's going to be something that we need to really be mindful of as we're stepping into the world, okay? As we're kind of opening up our power and ourself. We can be wanting to do so many things, we can be so excited and so driven and so determined that we think, oh, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. And it's like, wait a minute, there aren't enough hours in a day for me to do everything. So stepping back and being aware is going to be so important for us during this time. We then have our emotional self. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Everything is changing. Change is a huge part during this time. And we have the Sun. So it's changing for the better, even though at our root, at the base of ourselves, we're going to be like, oh, I don't know. Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the wrong thing? Am I moving forward the right way? And there's going to be all this extra kind of drama that we're putting on a situation. So do be mindful about that. We then have our public arena self, where we have the Knight of Cups, the King of Cups, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, if we're born on the cusp with Pisces, or we have water sign energy within our chart that comes through very powerfully in the public arena. We're also going to be a little bit more emotionally invested in things than we might feel comfortable with at this time, meaning that when it comes to money, when it comes to career, we always kind of want to stay a little bit detached, just a little bit like, okay, I can make these decisions and it won't have this huge emotional impact on me, or at least that's the way we're perceived to to want to deal with money and progression forward with things, just being that kind of cool, detached business person. And we're not going to be that way during this time. We're going to very much have our heart and soul into things and want to lead by example and need to lead by example. We then have the Ace of Swords coming through. This is, God, Source, Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, handing us a gift of knowledge, of insight, of cutting through doubts and fears and negativity so that we claim our voice. We're actually going to be speaking up a lot more for ourselves. We're going to be claiming the energy that we want and the place that we want to be. We're not going to be held back in ways that we were before. And there was a stagnation around the throat chakra, around the way that we're claiming our vocal energy or the way that we're claiming what we want. And we're going to see that really starts to change during this time. It's like, no, I can speak up for myself a lot easier. And people aren't going to know that about us, that we felt a little stagnant around our throat chakra, because when we think of Aries energy, we think of a person who really speaks up for themselves and says what needs to be said. And you could have, spoken up for, certain aspects of yourself or for other people. It could be way easier to speak up for others than it is to speak up for ourselves. And that's going to be where things start to change. And then the Death card, the dying away of the old self, the rebirth of the new, Scorpio energy, which is very powerful here because Scorpio is represented by the cups in the minor arcana and by the Death card in the major arcana. We're going to see ourselves starting to transform and starting to embrace new ideas, new passions, new desires, new instincts forward. And there's going to be this sense of, oh wow, like this door gets to open and I get to be more than I expected. But also there's a part of us that is transforming. There's a part of us that isn't the same person that we once were. And there could be a mourning there with that, a sense of, I lost that part of me. And Spirit's saying you didn't lose any part of you. What you did is you've advanced, and you've advanced the way that your soul needs to at this time, at this place. And we might think like, what the heck, is going on here? Is this absolutely crazy? And Spirit's saying, no, just follow me forward. Like follow the fervor within your voice and follow this time. And I don't know what that is. We'll see that more in just a little bit. Now let's look at the energy we are to be mindful of. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. Oh, it's the Prince of Pentacles. And that makes perfect sense. So the Prince of Pentacles here, and this is in the Druid Craft deck, has a shield over his mouth. So when it comes to business dealings, when it comes to money and talking about money, don't share all your business with everybody. Really seriously. We're going to have a tendency to want to be a very open book about certain things, and Spirit's saying, keep it to yourself. It's not their business. We're also going to find that people aren't sharing with us the way that we thought they would be, the way that we'd like them to be. This is very much a sense of, I need to look at things more closely and not just take everybody at face value. This is not the time to take things at face value. Okay, it's going to be deeper than that. It's going to be more than that. And we can be a little bit disappointed with that type of energy or that type of realization, but it's actually going to be one of the best things for us. Our chakra energy for this time, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Ooh, goodness. Okay, just kind of, your chakra card just popped out, so let me grab it as I try not to hit the mic, so hold on. As you guys get to hear my squeaky floor. Okay, so we have holistic health and universal light, which is beautiful. We have the root chakra and the soul star chakra coming through. And as this energy comes through, it's like, who am I holistically? What do I need to heal to embrace wealth, to embrace my power forward, to move in the direction that I need to, that I want to? And this is also saying, what's true for me may not be true for everybody else, and that's okay. We also need to take care of our bodies, take care of our souls, take care of ourselves. Universal light comes in, and the universe is shining above us, within us, around us. We are being blessed. We are being driven. We are seeing things in a very different way than we did before. And that's going to be astoundingly powerful. Now, it moves us here to the Tower. It moves us to a time of change. And as we're looking at this change, as we're understanding this change, as we're embracing this change, we are going to see that we're not the same person that we once were. And that's the energy that's coming through in the public arena, right? So the Death card, the dying away of the old self, the rebirth of the new, is the sense of this change has changed us. It has brought us to a place within ourselves that we didn't think we would be, that we didn't think of as the bigger scheme of ourselves, of what we wanted, of what we desired. So here there is a sense of, I'm stepping into this role that I never mentally prepared myself for. I didn't think I would be inhabiting. And what Spirit is saying here is like, don't be shy and don't hold back. Let yourself come forward in a really intense way because you've earned it. The Tower is never easy. Even if it's a change that everybody else would look at you and be like, oh, that you found hard? Please, like, I can tell you what hard is. That's not going to be the point. The point is how much it affects your heart, how much it affects your soul, how much it affects yourself. And as you claim your throne, as you claim your voice, as you claim your insights and ideas and passions and understandings, you claim you more and more. And that starts to open up the world for you. And that's also where we start to see, okay, certain things are out of balance. Now, it can be that we're biting off too much. It can be that we have this exuberance, that we are trying to be so prepared, because remember, Aries energy is the god of war energy. It's the sense of plan for the worst, hope for the best type of energy coming forward. And also the sense of, I need to be the leader. I need to really make sure that everything is safe, everything is secure, everything is well taken care of. And what we're going to see here is we need to balance it all. We also need to balance what people expect from us and what we expect from others, because it's not going to be a fair give and take inwardly. The world is opening. We're moving forward in action, in determination, but also in the sense of, what do I really want? I love it that on his lap is a storybook. It is a sense of a fairy tale. What fairy tales were we drawn to as children? What did we want and wish and hope for? When did we lose that along the way? Because a lot of times we lose that spark of imagination and creativity and insight and ideas. And now we're starting to claim it back. Now we're starting to claim ourselves back. Now we're starting to say, what did I want? And what sang to my soul? And all of a sudden, we're feeling emotionally that we're entering into a new season. And this new season can be overwhelming. We can feel like we have these huge ups and these huge downs and, twists and turns along the way. But it's like, where do I embrace what I truly desire? What do I love? What do I want? And where do I need to be for me? So as we're seeing everything change and turn and become, we're also seeing ourselves look at the different hats that we have worn, look at the different energies that we have, taken on, look at everything and start to see us. Start to see ourselves, start to see what we desire, start to see how we've handled things more openly and more honestly. And also start to see where we've held back, where we've denied ourselves, or where we thought, oh, I just need to be nicer, or I just need to, handle it this way instead of that way. And the Sun is saying here, this is the happiest card in the whole entire deck. Let yourself shine. Let yourself move forward. Let yourself embrace your voice and your words and your insights and your ideas without thinking that I have to curtail it. I have to even like dumb it down for the rest of the world, like not fully embrace the exuberance of me because other people might not understand it. It's like, who the heck cares what anybody else understands? What about the life that I'm embodying, the body that I'm inhabiting, the place that I want to be within my life? Let it shine. Let your heart shine. It makes us astoundingly vulnerable. That's why it's so terrifying. And that's why when we see the sun come through, we think, woohoo, that's the best card. Like, that's it. That's happiness. That's joy. That's success. But that's also going after the happiness, the joy, the success. That's putting ourselves out there. That's, that's claiming so much more than some of us are ever able to claim. And we're looking at our sacral chakra. I mean, our sacral chakra is coming up here. We're looking at our third eye chakra. We're looking at so much that is coming into us that we're beginning to understand. And it's not only our creative selves and our sexual selves. It is the trauma and drama from this life and from past lives that are tripping us up, that are holding us back. And the third eye chakra comes in and says, see openly, see honestly, let your light shine. Let it shine. And see what happens as you let it. People will take you by eyes. As you let yourself shine, as you let yourself be happy, like just genuinely happy. And I know we're talking about money and career, so it's like, okay, screw happiness. I just want to be rich. But happiness is richness. Happiness is a form of wealth that is so hard to come by. And so as we raise our energy vibration, as we start to shine with this light, people take notice. They really do. And that's when we become the King of Cups in the public arena. Excuse me. We cannot move away from our heart. We cannot. If we move away from our heart, if we move away from our soul, if we move away from the beauty and the expression of ourselves, we are going to miss so much during this time. This time has gifts. This time has power. This time has us, starting businesses and looking at blueprints and gaining an understanding, writing that book that we wanted to write, or, painting that painting, or whatever it is that we wanted to do, going horseback riding. If we've always dreamt of that as a little child, now we're going to see ourselves embracing things that we've always wanted to bring to the forefront, which brings wealth and richness into our lives because we're starting to shine with that energy. And the heart comes forward in a very real way, in a very honest way, in a very open way, in an astoundingly powerful way. And it says, lead by example. My heart is the only thing that I can rule. My life is the only thing that I have even semi-control over. So let it shine. Let yourself shine. And it moves us then to the Ace of Swords, knowing our voice, knowing our mind, knowing what we desire, cutting through doubts and fears and negativities and hurts and pains, and standing in our understanding, in our belief, in our passion of self, in the sense of I'm standing up for me. It's not being a brute and a bully and yelling and screaming. That gets nothing accomplished, and that's a very low base energy vibration. What it is it's speaking the truth as we see it. It's moving forward in our heart's energy. It's embracing our voice and saying what we need and what we want, and not being apologetic for it. As we move forward with kindness and openness and compassion, not being apologetic for being who we are. And it brings us then to the Death card. It brings us to complete transformation that can be scary and can be overwhelming, but is ultimately astoundingly beautiful. And we'll hear people say, Aries, you've changed. What's going on here? Or, you wouldn't say that last week or last month, that type of energy. And what we're going to say is, I'm a different person. What I'm seeing now, what's coming forward that is so important, is so different than what I had seen before. Maybe we don't need to say that to them because they wouldn't understand, but we need to say it to ourselves and acknowledge that. Our subconscious energy to be mindful of is the King of Swords. It can be being a little bit too blunt. It can be being a little bit too caustic with our words. That is something to be mindful of. When we get into our heads, as air sign energy comes forward, we can find that, wow, they can be blunt and rude and a bit mean, So we have to be mindful of that energy coming from us. But we also have to be mindful that we're going to be very attracted to that type of energy. Somebody who just says it as it is because I need to hear the truth. You don't need to hear rudeness. So that's going to be something that we have to be mindful of. Our subconscious chakra energy is, there's that, third eye chakra that's coming into play. It's that psychic development right here. It says psychic development. We have the sense of our psychic self, our intuitive, emotional, passionate self moving us forward. We're going to be looking at things and kind of knowing answers, or, picking up on energies and insights and, determination. And that's going to be really powerful for us. Don't turn away from that gift. It's going to be so easy to turn away from it because we might not see it as a gift. We might see it as something that's really messing up the way that we want to move forward. But Spirit's pulling us back for a reason. Our subconscious rooted message is the Chariot, which is Cancer energy. Our heart is leading us forward in a very real way. It comes through very powerfully in the public arena if we embrace our hearts by embracing the essence of ourselves and understanding all the change that we have been through, all the trials, all the tribulations, and knowing that if I stick to what is emotionally right for me, if I stick to what it is I love and desire and need and hope for, that becomes the game changer here. And it brings us to our subconscious inner self, which is the Ace of Swords. Again, we're claiming our voice, we're claiming our power, we're claiming our insight, and we're going to see that there's a sense of going back to not a primitive self in a bad way, but a sense of the very essence of our beginning of understanding, going back to our origins, our original voice, instincts, ideas. And that's going to be powerful because there's a sense of history behind us. There's a sense of our words have gravitas to them because we're connecting with the child that we were. We're connecting with our ancestral line. We're connecting with the things that we had wanted when we were small, and we're putting into words what got lost along the way, what we didn't think there were words for. And now we're finding that there is so much more reasoning, so much more beauty here than we realized. It brings us to our subconscious emotional self, and that's justice. That's finding the balance of the scales. And I just noticed that our emotional self, 2 major arcana cards, now 3 major arcana cards, and that's a big deal because at our root, yes, we have all major arcana cards, but this is just a major arcana deck. when we have it come through at our heart, all major arcana, our heart is a heavy hitter. That's why we're not able to turn away from it in the public arena. That's why we're not able to, step back and say, oh, well, just joking, I'll be less emotional, or I won't think with my heart. I'll really make sure I map everything out, and it has to be just so. Spirit's saying here, no, if you don't listen to your heart in business, if you don't listen to your heart in, financial decisions, you're going to find that hardships come your way. It's not going to be, well, yeah, it's going to be hardships. It's going to be like, oh my goodness, I should have listened to that instinct. I should have listened to that idea. We also need to listen to, people, right? And make sure that we're making a wise decision. But our emotional reaction is going to be something to be considered. Justice comes in, and we find that there's discernment here. We have to be very aware of the energy we want in our lives and the way that we emotionally want to move forward. And also logically and passionately and, distinctly want to move forward. It brings us then to our subconscious public arena self. And it's the Hierophant. Now, if we're born on the cusp with Taurus, that's going to be that Taurus energy coming through, or if we have that within our natal chart. But the Hierophant is very interesting because it is the only card that is more powerful than the Emperor. Because in medieval times, the Pope could tell an emperor what to do, and the Hierophant represents the Pope. So what we have here is the tradition coming forward. What traditions are innately a part of us? What do we desire, want, need to move ourselves forward, to go after what we long for within our lives? This is a time to look at the intrinsic value of ourselves and what it is that if we turned away from it, we turned away from who we are and what we really want in this world. There's also a sense here of being very connected with power, being very connected with authority, and being very connected with a bigger picture. So do be mindful of that. All right, Taurus. All right, Aries. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power that is gifted to us at this point. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Aries.